It's that time of the week again where we get to review all of the update news for World of Tanks console Modern Armour, and we're going to be having a look at it. I will timestamp the video so you'll be able to flick between all of the different parts of the news this week for World of Tanks, so be sure to do that if you're interested, or just primarily just watch all of the video right the way through if you're interested in every single bit of update info and stuff that we've got for the game. Now, first things first, we do, of course, still have the season going on, whereby you can pick up quite a few premium tanks and some gold, so be aware that there are a whole new set of challenges that came out this week, so you'll be able to complete those, get towards season rank 100 if you aren't already. I know I'll be looking to try and get that in the next week or so and really grind out to rank 100. Obviously, there's still some sales going on with Black November. Since this is week 3, we've got 4 weeks, obviously, and this is where you'll be able to get your hands on some of the elite kind of premium tanks that don't really come around too often. They're limited edition, really, and so we'll have a look at those now. So the first one, obviously, is basically the black tanks are back. So you'll be able to pick up any of the black tanks this week, albeit in bundles or on their own. Now, it's Wargaming's typical 50,000 gold for one singular bundle within the game at a 40% saving. And yeah, 50,000 gold is approximately £130 or just over that even, so you're probably looking at nearly $200 to be able to pick up these tanks. I can answer your question that you probably have: is it actually worth it, or at least somewhat worth it? No, not in my opinion. Spending $200 on some of the worst tanks that are in the game, the T-34-3, the IS-6, the CDC, the FV201, they're all very mediocre. You've got tanks that are okay / slightly better than average in the Lerva, the T-34 and the STA-2, but primarily the rest of them are pretty rubbish, and I would not be purchasing them if they weren't a black edition and they didn't earn extra silver, which all of the black tanks do, so do remember that when you are thinking about picking one up. I believe they get 57% earn rate for your silver, and they also get XP earn rate of 175, so they're also crew trainers, so they get a bit of both. They get increased silver earning and also, of course, that increased crew XP, although to be honest with you, crew XP nowadays, with all of the boosters circulating around within World of Tanks, they don't really make much of a difference. So purchasing these tanks, unless you really want them as kind of like a here, I spent $200 on the game, then yeah, I guess there's not that much point, and you can purchase the normal versions that come on sale anyway, that are basically the exact same, except they don't have that crew earn rate that the black tanks do. So if you want one of them, I'd probably just wait till they come on sale in a bundle that with the tank that you actually want out of this. Spending 50,000 gold is just insane, really, from Wargaming. I actually just think that that's purely disgusting, and them trying to profit off of a limited edition sort of stuff within the game. Then, of course, we have basically the black editions, but in their respective bundles, so they're kind of limited down with a terrible saving of 30%, and when you factor in the fact that they put in premium ammunition and stuff into all of the bundles, making the actual price of the bundle increase even more, the saving then goes down, considering you would never have paid gold for premium ammunition, or at least the majority of you won't have, and sometimes they come with extra things like equipment and stuff. So yeah, basically all boosts silver or the gold cost even if it costs silver within the game, they basically take it as costing gold if you were to convert that silver into the equivalent, and that is why some of these savings are just a complete lie, really. Well, they're not necessarily a lie, but the actual savings that you're getting on the stuff that you want is lower than the actual saving that they show you on these things, which I don't really get. Anyway, moving forward, obviously, we then have each of the black tanks on sale for 20% off. So if you want any of them, I would, to be honest with you, since the 40% saving for buying all of them for $200 is only a 40% saving. To be honest with you, I just put purchase of the best ones being the Lerva, the T-34 and the STA-2. If you wanted any of those, don't rush out and buy them just because they're limited edition, or at least they come around once every year, probably, maybe slightly more, but yeah, I wouldn't rush out and purchase any of them, to be honest with you. Anyway, moving forward, we then have the typical multi-tank bundles that don't feature any of these stupid high-priced premium tanks, and that is, of course, the European Snipers, which comes with the Audace 105, the French Tier 8 tank destroyer, the Striker Kanonen Jagdpanzer, and the Diamondback Mark 1. All of them are actually pretty interesting tanks. I actually think these two are very underrated in the Striker and the Audace. Diamondback is not so much, but there we go. I guess if you're interested in your TDs, maybe you'll want them. As far as the next bundle, we've got triple threats, and that comes in the form of the Centurion Mark 5/1 RAAC, which is okay, the M41D light tank, which is of course the Chinese Walker Bulldog, and the Brick. The Brick is pretty terrible. I'm not going to lie, that's a pretty shocking tank. Even with the buffs that they gave it recently, it's just not competitive whatsoever. And the Chinese light tank is pretty decent. Centurion Mark 5/1 is decent as well, but 14,460 gold. The bundles this week really aren't that good. Alongside the bundles of tanks, of course, you then get this skin sale, which comes with all of the various different skins for a load of them. You've got the skins for the T-34, ranging down from Tier 5 all the way up to the Era 3 of the Cold War game mode in the Teledyne Continental Motors AGS Mojave skin. You've also got the month-long sale on Premium Time, which is probably the one thing I would recommend out of all of the sales that come on in November. And of course, you've then got November Tank of the Month DLC, which is paying $10 to be able to get 850 gold, 3 days of premium, and a premium tank. So it's not awful, but it's not necessarily anything that you'll probably want to jump on straight away. It's just there really if you want to purchase gold in a lower amount. Other than that, that is the sales done, but we have a few other things coming into the game this week, and that is of course the Emil 1951, the new tank. I say new, it is not new. It's Wargaming's typical feature of an old skinned tank and then basically re-say it's a new tank when realistically it's just exactly the same as the Barracuda, except it's not skinned. So it doesn't have like the Swedish flag all over it. It's not bright blue. It is literally just the exact same tank as what the Barracuda is. So it's an autoloader, plays very much like the Kranvang or the Emil 1 or the Emil 2. So if you've played any of those, it has that autoloader, the 3-shot autoloader, 360 damage per shot. That brings the grand total up to 1080. Decent penetration, decent speed limit. This tank is actually a pretty good one. Would I recommend purchasing it for 16,000 gold? No. Would I recommend purchasing it for 13,000 gold? No. I think since this tank is pretty much already in the game with a skinned version that acts as camouflage in the Barracuda, I would just wait until that comes back into the game. It would be a better use of your gold, and considering, you know, the whole premise of it being a new tank, it isn't actually a new tank because anyone that owns the Barracuda already knows that this is the same one. So don't go buying this thinking it's a brand new one and you'll be in with the elite of buying the tank first. It is one that's already in the game, so don't fall into that pit trap. Just thought I'd let you know, and hopefully you'll appreciate that in the coming week, especially if you were thinking about buying it thinking it's a new tank, because it isn't. Then, of course, we have the challenges and events. So we do have the Dreadnought Earn operation, which is probably the biggest thing this week for any of you that play World of Tanks. And, of course, that's what the Dreadnought KV2 does. It's this high alpha damage, 700 damage per shell that can actually pen pretty much everything you come up against. 250 millimeters of heat penetration. So of course you also can fire premium because of the premium silver Earn op, or not Earn op, but the Earn capabilities of the tank being 130% silver when you play it. So yes, you can fire premium, yes, you can run premium consumables, and yeah, it's a pretty decent earn operation. Of course, we looked through this the other day, and we did put up a Dreadnought KV2 review the other day showcasing what the tank can do and how you should kind of think about playing when you play in the Dreadnought. Then we have the Turkey Shoot Challenge, which is, of course, a Thanksgiving in the US kind of challenge whereby you can earn a ton of silver. You basically can earn up to in the region of 700,000 silver if you basically destroy 40 or more vehicles in any number of battles, and then you've got to do that for the third one. A total of 85 vehicles over the entirety of the kind of week or 2 weeks that this is available until the 30th of November. You've also got +1/-1 matchmaking reoccurring this weekend, so that's very good news for all of you interested in +1/-1 matchmaking. It's probably one of the better things that comes in on the weekends, and I'm sure many of you who play on those weekends know exactly what I mean. It's just a nicer way to grind through some of those tough tanks, like things like the Tiger P, etc. Hate on the Tiger P so much, but I really did hate that tank back in the day. Then, of course, we have the weekly sales, which are, as we've talked about, but these ones are, of course, the specific deals to your account, so you'll be able to earn the deals of the week, which are just basically 50% off on these two tanks, which are the TANK, the light tank with the derp gun, and you've also got the Slayer SU-152, which is the tier 7 SU-152 with that big derp gun. So yeah, both fairly derpy tanks this week, and 50% off both of them. So yeah, if you've got 4,000 gold lying around and you want an okay derp tank, then maybe one of these two will do for you. As far as the super savings, we do have my favourite tank within World of Tanks being the Excalibur Tank Destroyer, which is 50% off, so it's going to cost you pittance if you want to pick it up. And although I want to say it's a fantastic tank, it really isn't that overpowered, and it's definitely not particularly good either. So it really does take a novel kind of player and someone that's willing to spend some time learning the kind of novel tank that it is. And then, of course, we have the Adler VK4503, the tier 7 German heavy tank, and the T28 concept tank destroyer for the American line tier 7, and they are all 50% off. And so if you want to purchase any of them, then go ahead. As far as the other things, we have still got 2 weeks left of the Kinetic Fury season, so make sure you get to season rank 100 by 2 weeks, and War of Clans is still going on until the 11th of December. I've got the M50 Ontos still on, the November challenge where you can earn a black tank being the IS-6 Black, the Minotaur KV5 or the Demolisher, so be sure to pick up one of those if you haven't already and you haven't completed the November challenge. And then, of course, the daily play challenge available again for the next 2 weeks where you can earn potentially a skin for the Jag Tiger 88 or the T34 Black Edition heavy tank. Then, of course, the Tanks Reforged for the Jaegeru available for 1 more week, and then it will be the Object 263 Tanks Reforged, and of course the traditional long haul and the tanks for sale still going on. And of course, if you want to tune in to Wargaming's Twitch channel where they basically stream and go through all of the information with Pain God, then you can do on Friday at 2 PM Central Time or 8 o'clock UTC. So make sure you do that if you're interested in watching the Wargaming stream live directly from them. But other than that, I hope you did enjoy this update news. Don't forget to leave your opinions on these black tank sales. Do you think that they're just an absolute rip-off, trying to charge $200 for one bundle within World of Tanks? At least in my opinion, it's probably one of the most ridiculous things I think I've seen, and it happens every year, so I shouldn't be that surprised. But yeah, and what do you think about the Emil 1951 coming to World of Tanks console? Do you think that it's a bit shady that they're calling this a brand new tank when realistically it's just an unskinned version of a tank they already have in the game? Yeah, seems a bit dodgy that they're calling this a brand new tank. Yeah, don't know why, but there we go. Hopefully you did enjoy. Of course, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I hope you join me back for some update news on Friday and some gameplay in between. Thank you very much. Goodbye.